and decomposes, it eats up the water's oxygen. Some of the nitrogen comes from sewer discharge and other pollutants, but the majority comes from fertilizer runoff from Midwestern cornfields.
It's definitely a concern to farmers.
Champaign County grower Jerry Watson says farmers want to be good stewards of their land. Besides, that's where they make their living from. Plus, with the much higher cost of nitrogen fertilizer, farmers don't want to waste a drop.
The trade-off is very tough because without the use of this fertilizer, we would not be able to supply the food source that this world needs.
At the moment, the impacts on our food supply aren't great, but over time, we don't know how those are going to play out.
This is actually even probably 2 weeks, 10 days behind what we would normally like to see at this time of year.
Champaign County grower Jerry Watson anxiously checks his pollinating fields. Jerry's especially worried about his replanted corn, 2 weeks behind other crops that are already pollinating.
And here it is virtually knee-high to waist-high, and then all of a sudden you get into the good part of the field and stuff's already over your head and it's already tasseled.
Jerry's fear is his late planted corn may not fully mature before the first frost. That normally hits around mid-October.
The challenge is going to be to get this crop finished before a frost hits, and that's something that we don't know when that's going to happen.
If the frost comes early, corn can survive, but yields will be hurt. Frost can also add moisture to the cob, requiring expensive drying. But if soybeans haven't fully matured, an early frost can kill the pods, leaving them to rot in the fields.
When we have the frost, it stops the growing point of the plant.
So far, Jerry says July has been a good weather month, just the right mix of rain and sunshine. There's not much farmers can do now, but anxiously wait it out.
This corn's going to have a very hard time having enough calendar left to make a crop. And it seems like that we're spending more time in the office working out cash flows than we are necessarily in tractors anymore.
The Champaign County Watson farm family gathers for another important monthly strategy meeting. Their roundtable conversation is all business.
Where do we stand with the 2 grain trucks for being ready?
Ideas are thrown back and forth on how best to operate their 4,000-acre investment.
The cultivator can be put away.
I think all the bean bins are ready to go, cleaned out.
These farmers think of every way they can to minimize costs and maximize profits, from the best use of hired help to tractor maintenance.
High priority right now.
To the best time to sell their grain at the highest possible price.
Where do we stand with getting fill for the new shed?
And with ever-escalating costs, the Watsons are already buying needed supplies to grow next year's crops called prepaids.
It's just a risk management tool that we use to help lock in our costs so we know how to manage every acre that we have to its fullest potential.
And there's always preventive maintenance to help reduce any downtime that could cost the Watsons both time and money.
Change oil, check the tires, check all the fluids, check the belts.
The farm is the bread and butter of all this, and it has to be taken care of, otherwise we will not have a job.
The learning process is never ending with the seed. There's always new advancements and new technologies coming out.
Jerry Watson and his son Jason are once again off the farm and back in the classroom. Every month they must learn the latest advancements in hybrid seeds.
The stakes are extremely high for our customers.
The Watsons have to know the best seeds to sell under various crop conditions. Not only does selling seeds supplement their farm income, but other farmers depend on their expertise.
What our decisions, our training, our choices that we prepare for our customers is going to make the difference of what their livelihood is.
The Watsons know they must stay ahead of the learning curve, because in this ever and quickly changing world of high-tech farming, the Watsons can't afford to fall behind.
It's also knowledge that we can take back to our own farm, whether through genetics or through farming practices.
The Watsons say personal relationships still go a long way in developing business, but a firm handshake only goes so far in being a successful seed representative. Their farmer customers are also more educated than ever and demand straight answers. Plus, corn and soybeans are at record prices. A mistake in choosing the wrong seed can be costly, so farmers demand hybrids that will produce the highest yields. And because of those high expectations, that's why farmers like the Watsons go back in the classroom.
Well, the technology is just exploding.
Champaign County farmer Jerry Watson likes what he sees in his maturing soybean field. but not what he hears on the Chicago Board of Trade.
There's always a challenge there in trying to get the sell crops at the right levels.
You may not think of farmers as having to be adept financial investors, but knowing when to sell their crops, and maybe more importantly when not to, can mean a vital make it or break it income decision.
It always puts a lot of uncertainty into the farmers for production for the following year as to which crop they want to grow.
The grain markets are really falling off quite a bit right now.
Dave Jansen is a Champaign commodity investment advisor. Jansen says corn and soybean prices are based on not only how much crops U.S. and even farmers worldwide are expected to harvest, but also on many uncontrollable outside factors.